Over the course of their mostly miserable modern-day existence, the Toronto Maple Leafs have suffered too many humiliations to count. They're hockey's most storied losers for a reason. But of all the indignities the Leafs have endured, their greatest humiliation arguably came at the hands of a 42-year-old Zamboni driver. A regular Joe who was unexpectedly thrust into the opponent's net one night and proceeded to humble the Leafs, and make some awesome history in the process. The acronym that'll forever haunt the Maple Leafs thanks to one unforgettable game in 2020? Ebug. That stands for Emergency Backup Goalie. Basically, an ebug is a regular dude who's not on an NHL roster but has some goaltending experience and is available in case of emergency. The ebug typically attends all the home games of a certain team, and if somehow that team or its opponent loses both roster goalies to injury or what have you, the ebug is there to step in. That said, it's extremely rare for an ebug to actually get into a game. In fact, according to the Sporting News, there have only been 6 occasions in NHL history where an ebug was needed as a mid-game replacement. Without a doubt though, the most memorable of those ebugs was David Ayres. A Whitby, Ontario native who grew up cheering for the Maple Leafs, Ayres' own hockey career peaked at Junior B, though he continued to 10-goal in rec leagues into his 40s and managed to stay around the game professionally. See, Ayres worked as a maintenance man and Zamboni driver at Coca-Cola Coliseum, home of the Maple Leafs AHL affiliate, the Toronto Marlies. And it was through that job that Ayres ended up on the Leafs' radar. After a Marlies coach learned that Ayres was a netminder, Ayres served as an occasional practice goalie for both the Marlies and the Leafs, and eventually landed the ebug role with the big squad. And for years, Ayres attended Leafs games and stayed ready for an opportunity that seemingly was never going to come. Until finally, it did. On February 22nd, 2020, the Leafs hosted the Carolina Hurricanes at Scotiabank Arena. As per usual, Ayres was in the building, at the ready. Well, barely 3 minutes into the game, Hurricanes goalie James Reimer exited with an injury after one of his teammates crashed into him. So in went backup goalie Peter Mrazek. And that's when Ayres' phone started buzzing. With Mrazek in, Ayres was now the next man up for Carolina. So he headed down from his seats to get his gear on, albeit with no expectation of actually getting into the game. After all, this wasn't the first time he'd been asked to get dressed. As a veteran ebug, he'd done it 3 times before without actually setting foot on the ice. But apparently, the 4th time was the charm. Because just after the halfway point in the second period, with Carolina up 3-1, Mrazek got absolutely flattened on an ill-advised poke check attempt, a collision that eventually forced him to exit with a concussion. Yeah, it was happening. David Ayres, the 42-year-old Zamboni driver, was going in to play net for the Carolina Hurricanes.
And here he comes, number 90 for the Carolina Hurricanes is Dave Ayres. According to the reports, the highest level of hockey he has played is Junior B, which is a step below Junior A, which is a step below Major Junior.
Loved what the guys did to go out and welcome him on the ice. You can only imagine what his nerves are like right now, what his heart rate is like right now.
Not exactly color coordinated, but that doesn't matter. What a moment here.
What a moment indeed. This wasn't garbage time. There was still almost half a game left. And Carolina, an eventual playoff team, had a 2-goal lead to protect. And with the ink still wet on his NHL tryout contract, the standard paperwork that ebugs have to sign before entering a game, Ayres did his best to simply hold his own in the biggest game of his life. Fortunately for him, Carolina gave him a little more margin for error shortly after he took the ice. Not even 2 minutes after Ayres came in, and just moments after he bravely played the puck for the first time, the Hurricanes extended their lead to 4-1.
I'd say that's a routine play by a goaltender, but when you're an emergency backup,
Nothing's routine.
that is consequential by Ayres.
Then things promptly took a turn. On the first shot he faced, Ayres got a rude welcome to the NHL.
Near point, snapped in by Barry, injured Kane. Tavares a shot, he scores! John Tavares right along the ice.
Now, in all fairness to Ayres, that shot was from a likely future Hall of Famer with a ton of space in the high slot. Can't really blame him for that one. And Ayres was even more blameless on the second shot he faced.
Barry Kapanen, he'll turn away from Van Riemsdyk. Midpoint Barry, a shot, loose, they score! Pierre Engvall! And there's nothing the goaltender could do about that one.
Very quickly, through really no fault of his own, the Canes' lead had shrunk to 1. And as much as Ayres was going through it, so too was his wife Sarah, who tweeted this not safe for work message from the Scotiabank Arena stands. But just when it seemed like the Leafs might have their way with their longtime practice goalie, Ayres locked in.
Stike along the boards. Tavares centering pass. A chance. Ayers said no. It's loose in the crease.
That first save helped Ayers get the jitters out of the way. And when Ayers came out for the third period, there wasn't a Leafs fan in the building or watching on Hockey Night in Canada that wasn't pulling for Carolina's netminder. And he nailed it.
Stretch pass. Austin Matthews cutting on Gardner. To the slot. A shot blocked by Van Riemsdyk. The rebound off the stick of Ayers. It goes high. Chopped in. Ayers again says no. He's got it.
And the capacity crowd here, all the Leaf fans, they're cheering for Ayers.
The Canes can't get it out. Kerfoot. Hyman. What a save!
Under the elbow on the blocker's side, and he squeezes and holds on.
Get this, 40 years to the day from A Miracle on Ice, one of the greatest moments in hockey history, David Ayers was authoring a miracle of his own, holding it down in net in an NHL game against the team he grew up cheering for. Ayers, in fact, stopped every shot he saw in the third period, doing more than enough to help the Hurricanes secure an unforgettable 6-3 win.
Faces a shot, makes the save, keep the puck, David. You've just got a National Hockey League victory. 6-3 Carolina. Oh man, look at that reaction.
Yeah, you better believe Ayers was credited with the victory, becoming the first ebug ever to win a game, and the oldest goalie in league history to win his NHL debut. All told, Ayers stopped 8 of 10 shots. As you probably guessed, he was named the game's first star, which meant he earned the post-game tunnel interview too.
My words won't do any of this justice, so I'd love to know what's been going through your mind the last couple hours.
It's been great. Obviously that second period was a little shaky, but I told the boys in the dressing room, once we come up for the third, I'll be settled down and ready to win this one.
It was simply a magical night, and everyone in the building and watching on TV was aware of that. In fact, Ayers' game-used stick was promptly sent to the Hockey Hall of Fame because this was downright historic. Meanwhile, it also broke the brain of some Leafs fans who couldn't get over their team losing to an ebug.
The Toronto Maple Leafs lost an actual National Hockey League game to a 42-year-old Zamboni driver who works for them!
Nevertheless, Ayers' magical night made him an instant legend in Carolina. The Hurricanes actually started selling shirts with Ayers' name and number on it the following game. A portion of those proceeds, by the way, went to a kidney foundation, as Ayers had previously been the recipient of a kidney transplant. But this wasn't just a feel-good story for Carolina or for hockey fans. Ayers' performance was straight out of Hollywood, and he understandably became something of a media sensation in the aftermath of the game.
Oh, God, I pulled my hamstring. I don't think I can finish the monologue. Oh, no.
Don't worry, Steven, I got you!
Zamboni hockey heroes.
And today, almost a half-decade on, Ayers' brief and improbable NHL career remains unforgettable. A modern-day miracle on ice.